to be honest with you, Thailand is compromised. And that used to be one of our best safe havens. That and the Philippines. But lately, there's trouble. There's too many ninjas. Yeah, it's too many. Both men and women alike. It's too many. It's compromised. There's no use in going over there now. It's worse than the DR and Colombia put together. Okay? Everybody running over there to get those $500 condos that are fully furnished. And all these videos I hear talking about, yeah, they's got these $500 condos and they doing it with no credit check, honey. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
And let's talk about this. What's going on YouTube? So, as you guys know, I am currently here in Thailand. This is actually my last weekend in Pattaya before I leave for Phuket. I'm going to be there for about 10 days, Bangkok for a week, then I'm going to slide back here to Pattaya for 2 more weeks before I head to Malaysia, then Singapore, and then back to Thailand for my birthday. So, anybody who's been following me long enough, y'all know I spend majority of my time in Thailand while I'm overseas. Last year I spent 9 months overseas, 3 months at home. Out of those 9 months, I would say maybe about 6 of those were probably spent in Thailand. The rest between Cambodia, I did Cambodia, Brazil, Philippines, Germany, and Bali. Those were the other places that I were at for the other remaining time that I was overseas. And I did still travel even when I was back home. I went to Chicago, Cleveland, Tennessee, and Las Vegas. So as you guys know, I love to travel, whether it's international or domestic. But as you guys know, for the most part, this is an international traveling channel. Now, like I said, I spend most of my time in Thailand. One of the reasons is what the brother mentioned, cost of living being a lot cheaper. And you got to think, bro, us as black folk, we're always going to try to look for the best deal we could possibly get. But just people in general. But I will say this, as somebody who's been spending most of his time here for what seems to be, now that I think about it, 2 years, which is crazy to think about, but yeah, 2 years. I will say I see more black men out here now than I did when I first came out here a couple years ago. Particularly young black men. You're starting to see more younger travelers, particularly black men in Thailand. And maybe this is what he's referring to. Now, I did recall seeing some black women mention about how you can get these fully furnished apartments here, and they don't do the credit check like they do back in the States. As long as you got the money, that's pretty much all it comes down to. And yes, all of that is true. So when he mentions that, I can see how he looks at it that way, because we just look up which demographic has the most evictions in America, and you'll understand where he's probably coming from on that. If that's what he's referring to, then I can kind of understand it. But again, that's one of the main reasons why I enjoy being here. Marijuana is legal. That probably will draw a lot of more black people coming over here once they realize that. I think the thing that's keeping Thailand from getting bad, like DR, Colombia, like he claims those are, even though, to be honest with you, I know guys that are living in both DR and Colombia, and they don't seem to be having these same issues as tourists. probably because those guys are living there and they've embraced the culture and they're learning the language or have mastered the language. And they've developed friendships and things of that nature down there. So um, I think that's a difference. However, I think what again was keeping Thailand from being like Colombia and DR is the fact that the flight is so long. However, I would be lying to you guys if I didn't see more black people here now than I did 2 years ago. Um, the tourists are starting to notice it. The locals are noticing it. If you go back to when Richie Mack had that one black lady who went viral on his channel because they were going back and forth. And the one Thai woman was like, I'm starting to notice more black people come here. Um, and I've actually met that black lady in person twice since I've been out here because one of the times where was at the yacht party that's actually on my travel vlog channel. If y'all check that out, she was at that yacht party as well as another gathering that I recall. But yeah, so that lets you know she's out here. And when I was out here, her husband was not with her. So take that as you as will. But again, as far as it being compromised, I don't really think that's the case. To be honest with you, when it comes to like drama or anything newsworthy that's happened out here, if I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with you, is either been locals or typically Caucasians from European countries or Russia. You feel me? Or recently it was some Chinese people. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to Thailand, it seems like black people are at the bottom in terms of like causing any kind of craziness. So I don't want people to take what he's saying and run with it and be like, "Oh man, it's getting bad out here." Nah, not really, man. I can be take it from some. Let me put it to you like this, bro. I just had a brother who came out here, man. Shout out to Mike, man. He's out here. Big part of the reason is, because of my experience out here. And he's been reaching out to me for a long time and said he was going to come out here. If you check, he's on the Travel Vlog channel as well. Turf dancing, man. Like that boy is talented, bro. Um, so when he came out here, this brother was like, I'm going to be 100 with you, man. He said, yeah, I went to 808. He said, yeah, man. He said, that just ain't my vibe, man. Like, I mean, because when you go to 808, you're gonna pretty much, as a black man, you're pretty much low key gonna feel like you back home. All you're gonna hear for the most part is hip hop music, Afro beats, and pretty much any woman that you see in that building, they're there specifically looking for black men. So you're gonna win. But what I will say is this: there are so many clubs, particularly on Walking Street. If you go somewhere where it's not just for black men, like if you go to Mist or Republic or something like that, you stick out like a sore thumb because most black men are not going to those spots. But there's women in those spots looking for black men. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta get some experience here, learn how to play the field, and go to places where you stand out more so than blend in. You see what I'm saying? Because one of the reasons why you're traveling, especially if you're pursuing any kind of connection, romantic connection, or even if you're just trying to have a good time, um, you want to go to places where where you feel me, where you can leverage things to your advantage, so that way you have a better chance of getting the outcome that you want. So Mike, I'm like, look, bro, just go to Mist. Like, bro, that man went to Mist. Um, Shit, he had got a girl number on the way out the door. Was flirting, talking to 2, 3 other chicks. Like, while me and over here, and you know what I mean, shorty that I've been rocking with. chilling with her friends, and it was just a good time, bro. Like, having drinks and whatnot. So, but outside of me and him and the couple of other brothers that watched the channel that I was with, there weren't any other black men there. So we stick out like a sore thumb. I'm with Shorty. So obviously all the attention is on these other brothers. So but bro, even me being with Shorty, I still got women like eyeballing me as if like, bro, every time I go to the restroom and walk away from her to go to the restroom, bro, like I could easily be walking out of these clubs with 4, 5, 6 numbers if I really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Um, but my point is this, man. As somebody who's been spending a lot of time out here, and y'all know I'm always transparent with you guys. Yes, there's more black people, especially in Pattaya, and you're starting to see it more in Bangkok. Yeah, there's more black people out here, but you got to understand, here in Pattaya, they've been they got businesses out here. You can there's about a half dozen to a dozen black owned businesses in Pattaya alone. All right, so just because you're starting to see more black people out here ain't necessarily a bad thing, because there's already a somewhat of a community being built out here. Now, as far as you possibly wanting to connect with an American black chick out here, that's probably highly unlikely, because just because they're out here doesn't change their mindset. Um, but what I will say is that yes, again, there are more black people out here. However, when it comes to a lot of the news that I'm hearing, that's been especially like within the last few months, it has not been black people. Um, the only incident I can really think of is the black guy that was on a motorbike, that was driving on a motorbike shirtless or some shit. And I think he was drunk as hell. Like, okay, like that. In comparison to stuff that I've been hearing from all other parts of the world coming to Thailand, that's light work. Trust me. Um, so again, bro, it's all good out here. I will be honest. There's somebody in particular that I'm not too fond of. Y'all know who that is. I heard he had got money to raise to come out here, and he was supposed to be out here. I'm glad I haven't ran into him. I hope and pray to God I never do. But my God, man, like, ugh, those type of guys, those are the ones that I worry about that are gonna ruin it. Cause some of these other younger guys that are coming out here, like they doing their thing. They got YouTube channels, vlog channels, and pretty dope content for real. So like, I done met a couple of them, bro. Like they cool, they cool. Some of these young dudes real cool and chill, bro. So like, just because y'all starting to see more of them, just don't automatically assume they um that they Pookie and Ray Rays. You feel me? Um, but other than that, as far as I can tell, man, I'm enjoying myself out here. It's all good. Uh, and again, I still encourage people to come here, whether you looking for somewhere to move permanently or just want to come and visit. You know what I mean? As you potentially might want to hit other countries in Southeast Asia. As you guys know, I'm going to Malaysia and Singapore next month. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to showing y'all that on this channel as well. Um, and again, thank you guys for tuning in, supporting the new reaction channel. And so far, so good on that. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, the link should be in the description of this video. If not, it'll probably be in the description of the previous video. And again, man, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in and for supporting the channels. Until next time, you guys, deuces.